if you're a Phils fan, good news. Cincinnati's beating Atlanta right now 4-1. We mentioned the Mets, that 7-inning affair against the Nats 4-1. And right now, top of the 7th, they are knotted up in a scintillating matchup, and the Phillies were able to salvage the 3-game set against the Dodgers 2-1. They got out of a bases-loaded jam in the 9th. All right. So what would you prefer? Would you prefer your Mets winning the NL East or the Giants going to the playoffs?
I would say that it depends.
There's no depends on this. It's either or.
I'd probably say the Giants. I would say I'm a more of a Giants fan than I am. I'd say for me, football and hockey are like my two children. Couldn't pick between those two, and then it's probably baseball, and then like basketball and soccer. But football and hockey to me are the two most important. And I think the Mets, I think it's just starting our window, and the Giants, you don't know what a window is going to be, and if they make the playoffs, at least you know you have something at Daniel Jones then. It tells you what.
Well, hold on a second.
It should.
Hold on a second now there. What if they win 8 games, 9 games, get to the playoffs, and Daniel Jones throws for 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 12 picks, and fumbles 7 times? He's not the answer.
I don't think we'd make the playoffs then. I just don't know how. I don't know how you make the playoffs if Daniel Jones plays like that.
Well, you're right to some extent, but we've seen bad quarterback play before, and the team still has been able to find. My point is this. I believe the only way they do make the playoffs, all right, maybe those numbers, how about 20 touchdowns, 15 picks, 3,800 yards, and he has a couple fourth-quarter wins, and they go 9-8 and make the playoffs. I think a lot of it is subjective. I think we can gloss over it. Ultimately, it's a passing league. You should be able to throw for 3,800 yards and 25 to 30 touchdowns.
I agree.
Well, I don't understand why that doesn't happen with even one of Eli's statistically not even his best year. He still threw 35 touchdown passes.
I will say though, if we make the playoffs and Daniel Jones plays like that, I think you could probably. You're not going to obviously keep Jones, but then you're probably looking for a veteran. You're not, because you don't have a top 10 pick, even though you have 2.
No, you don't. You're
probably
going to try to go after Aaron Rodgers or maybe Deshaun. I mean,
if you don't make the playoffs, then you're going to use those 2 picks and draft a top 10 quarterback. But if you make the playoffs somehow, then you're like, we just need a quarterback, and you're probably going to get Rodgers.
They have to. If they beat Denver, I believe they can go on the road and beat Washington and then beat Atlanta at home. And New Orleans is not a very good team because we don't know who's going to be the quarterback. They've got issues in the secondary, guys dropping out, retiring, injured. They don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback, if it's going to be Winston, who's a turnover machine. Is it going to be Hill, who's really not? He's a gadget quarterback. So your best-case scenario as a Giants fan is, by the grace of God, they're 4-0 or 3-1 going into Dallas in October.
I would agree with that. I do think there also is some big, there's going to be some X factor games. There's some big games. I think Denver is one of them. I think Miami is another one. I think the Raiders is another one. Those 3 games, I think, and obviously the division games, but those are games that are not division games that are huge X factors. I think if you can go 2-1 in those games, that's huge.
Okay, but then what about Kansas City?
Well, I'm marking those are losses.
Yeah, Miami.
Those are games that are I think more of a coin flip.
I think there's always Kansas City. I don't believe you're beating Kansas City on the road.
The 3 I said: Denver, the Raiders, and Miami. The Kansas City, Tampa. I understand we played Tampa well last year, but I don't. If we win those games, that's a surprise.
If they go 4-0, they're losing to Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think we never win in.
They'll probably
Dallas.
Lose to the Rams.
Yeah, I like the Rams this year a lot.
And Carolina's a toss-up. Even if you give them a win.
I really don't like Carolina this year.
Even if you give them a win, that's 5-2. As a Giant fan, you're taking a run with it because you're probably going to lose the next 2. So you're 5-3 going into the bye, or best case scenario, 6-2. You're losing to Tampa, 6-3. You probably lose to the Eagles because they always do, whether it's home or away. So let's give them a win right there. 7-3.
Then you have Miami.
8-3.
The Chargers, I think, could go. That's another coin flip game. I think it depends.
So let's give them a loss. Let's give them a loss.
That's at San Diego, so you're going all the way there.
Because what happens is you got to remember, you typically will split in a division. So at 8-4, now you have Dallas and Philly. So there's 2 wins. That's 10.
And then you have Chicago and Washington.
Well, actually, no. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-1, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, 7-5, 8-5, 8-6, 8-7. And then at Chicago, who knows if Fields is starting.
And home versus Washington.
Yeah, so... I mean, listen, it might be there for them 1 o'clock Sunday, January 9th to try to get in the playoffs.
I think 10 wins. I think that's definitely possible for the Giants.
I
think that's the best case scenario, but you don't think that's it? You think that's impossible?
I think 10 would be a wonderful season. That means
that'd be
Jones
fantastic.
had a breakout season.
That's fantastic year. I would take a 10-win season.
I know that you would. All right. Excellent job. I don't know what you learned. Hopefully you learned a couple things before I let you get out of here.
No, it's been great. It's been an honor to be a part of Longport Media and the 1490 Sports Radio station. It's shown me what it's like to really start up different
we're going to get you on
stations.
during the football season. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no doubt.
All right.
But it's shown me I've been with the WOND. I've done some work for WMGM, and I've just seen what it's like to have a base. It's the foundation, I think, and you can always build up from there. But seeing what this business is like from the inside, I mean, I've worked on my own radio station.
So naive and green. God love it. You did a fantastic job. So
thank you.
The best
it's
of
been
luck.
An honor.
Well, you know what? It's ours. Best of luck in Indiana. Have fun. Keep us posted on the progress, and we'll definitely we'll talk during the football season, pal.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
All right, and I'll probably break your stones about the Mets as well.
Of course.
All right. So our guy, Josh, leaving for school, so great stuff with him. Tyler will be back in the saddle next week with us. Good stuff from Larry Henry Jr. on EPL, Premier League, and, of course, on some good stuff with the MLS. Don't forget, you got the Eagles and the Steelers tonight preseason. We'll throw it over to Vizan and the gang at 6. They'll keep you updated on what's going on in the world of sports. Live in-game bets as well, always right here on 1490 Sports Betting Radio. So keep it locked in. Phils with a win over the Dodgers, 2-1 as we mentioned. We will recap a ton of baseball, a ton of football. We'll be back in the saddle next Tuesday. Keep it locked in at Rich Q on Q, the YouTube channel. As always, be safe, be sound. I'm Rich Quinones. Hasta luego, mi dia.